Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Manik Madaan. I'm currently a US-based resident doctor, and in this video we will go over how to apply for USMLE Step 1 and Step 2 starting from 2023 and beyond, because the rules are gonna change. So we're going to talk about what's gonna happen in 2024 and 2023. How do you navigate this journey from 2023 and 2024 and beyond? The first step of the process is creating a USMLE/ECFMG ID via interactive web application portal, which is a part of ECFMG. The second step would be doing something called as Form 186 or certification of identification. The third step is submitting your online application for USMLE Step 1 or Step 2. Both of them are generally the same processes, and I will cover both of them. The fourth process is doing medical school verification. The fifth step is obtaining a scheduling permit from ECFMG, and the sixth step is getting a test date from your Prometric center. Let's start with the prerequisites for applying to the USMLE United States Medical Licensing exams. The first prerequisite that you need to have is having a valid unexpired passport. The second prerequisite, which is before 2024, is you must apply from a college that is listed under the WDOMS, and you also must have ECFMG sponsor notes in the WDOMS. After 2024, this process is changing, where we'll be moving away from individual medical school accreditation by World Directory of Medical Students to WFME, which is World Federation of Medical Education accreditation of the national agency accrediting the medical school, and I'll get into what that means later. So let's say you are applying before 2024. If you're applying before 2024, you have to go to this website, World Directory of Medical Schools, just to check if you're from a school which is eligible to apply for USMLE or not. I'll list the link to the website down in the description, and you can have a check. Go to the website, type your country name, medical school name, city, press the search button. You will be able to see if your medical school is listed. Also, you must go to sponsor notes and check if your medical school has the sponsor notes by the Educational Council of Foreign Medical Graduation, which is an agency that allows and facilitates international medical students to apply to the US match process and apply for the USMLE exams. Here, there must be a clear stating that students and graduates of this medical school are eligible to apply for ECFMG certification and for examination. Only then can you proceed ahead with the USMLE process. However, after 2024, this whole process is changing. We are going to something called as WFME accreditation instead of WDOMS accreditation. There is another thing you need to understand, that if you apply for ECFMG registration, which is also called as Form 186, before 2024, the ECFMG certification of identification that you get will be valid for the next 5 years, even after the policy changes and converts to WFME accreditation. Even if your nation then hasn't qualified for WFME accreditation or hasn't applied or still is in the process, you can still give the USMLEs if you get ECFMG registration before 2024. So you can write USMLE Step 1 until 2028 if you get it before 2024, because you'll have it for 5 years. So you can write it +5 from 2023 to 2028, and your USMLE Step 1 score will be valid for 7 years. So you can write Step 2 within 7 years of giving Step 1. If you feel that your country is not gonna get WFME accredited after 2024, apply for ECFMG registration now, which I'll go over later as well. After 2024, USMLE is moving away from WDOMS accreditation to WFME, recognized national agency accrediting medical school laws. What that means is the World Federation of Medical Education must recognize the national agency of your country that is accrediting your medical school. For example, if I'm from India, in India there's the National Medical Council, which is the accrediting agency for all medical school, and this agency, the national agency, must apply. So National Medical Council must apply to WFME for accreditation, and only if that is granted, then all medical schools that are covered by NMC, which is the Medical Council of India, basically all medical schools covered under NMC will be WFME recognized. So we are moving away from individual school recognition to national body recognition. That is what's gonna happen after 2024. These are the countries in dark blue that have recognition status. So you can see US has it, some parts of South America have it. The countries in light blue are the ones that are currently in the process of applying for recognition. So countries like India and Philippines are right now applying for it, but they haven't been granted the WFME accreditation itself. Now let's start with the whole process of how do you go about this step by step. So the first step is creating a USMLE/ECFMG ID via interactive web application portal. Go to ecfmg.com. I'll mention the link to this in the description as well. Once you go to ECFMG ECFMG, click on online services. Once you click on online services, you'll go to this page, online services overview. There you will see this drop down menu where it says for physicians. When you click on it, it will open up this whole list where it goes step by step on how to apply for the USMLE process, and it would also give this link to you, which is the interactive web application link. Click this link. Once you click the interactive web application link, you'll go to this portal of ECFMG, which is interactive web application portal. As you're new to this, you have to click here. So if you have never been issued a USMLE ECFMG identification number and want to request one, click here. So click here. Once you open the next page, go through the entire page and read through it just to make sure that you don't make an error. And once you go through this entire page, you have to check this box and click next. The next page will show up. Here click no, I have never submitted an application for ECFMG certification or an application for examination to ECFMG, and then click next. Once you click next, you have to fill in all your details like your last name, first name, date of birth, country, your gender, and you don't need to fill any US social security number since you won't have any or this. So only fill the at-risk columns. Make sure all the details that you enter here must match your passport details. It should exactly mirror your passport details is what ECFMG tells us. Once you're done with this, you can click this checkbox that you certify that the information that you're providing to ECFMG is completely correct, and then you click submit. Within 2 to 3 days, you will get an email from ECFMG where they will give you your USMLE and ECFMG ID, which you can use to apply for USMLE Step 1 and Step 2. If you don't get it, please make sure that you check your spam or junk email. Once that happens, we can go to the second process, which is called as ECFMG Registration or Certification of Identification. Many people confuse this with what is called as ECFMG Certification, which is a completely different thing. ECFMG Certification truly is when you have USMLE Step 1, you have USMLE Step 2, and you have OET ready, you can apply for ECFMG certification. That is a completely different thing. This is called as Certification of Identification or Form 186. It's also called as ECFMG Registration, and it's very different from ECFMG certification, which you can only get after you've written these 3 exams and paid your fee. So do not confuse it with that. This basically implies 2 parts. The first is online application for Form 186, and the second is notarization of Form 186. Online application for Form 186. Do you remember that there was this page that we had opened up before, which was the interactive web application portal for the ECFMG domain? Go to that website again and put in your ECFMG ID and your password. Another thing you need to know about is when ECFMG sends you your USMLE ID, I will also provide you with a password and ask you to change your password. So make sure you change your password before you go through any of these steps. Once you've changed your password, you can again put your ECFMG ID, USMLE ID here, password here, and click login now. You will be brought to this screen where you will see that application for ECFMG certification, and what this means again is certification of identification, not the end game, which is ECFMG certification. Click on submit an application for ECFMG certification. You will be brought to this page where it says application for ECFMG certification. Read through it and click begin. Once you click begin, you have to start entering your details just like your passport states it, and then click next. Once you have done filling the whole form 186, click continue to payment, and you'll be brought to this screen where you'll be asked to pay about $150, which is the charge for ECFMG registration. Make sure that you have a credit card with international transaction turned on. Once you have done that, you will be brought to this screen where you'll be asked to download certification of identification form. You can click here, form 186, and you will get a PDF of form 186. After this, we can proceed with the notarization of form 186 via something called as Notary Camp. Once you download your form 186, it will look like this in the PDF form. And you need the following requirements to get the notarization. The first one is a PDF of Form 186, which you get after the payment. Second, you need a scanned color image of the required pages of your passport. You can go into the details and it will mention what they need in the passport to be present here. The third requirement you need to meet is a computer with a webcam. This is the front of Form 186. This is the back side of Form 186. You don't have to do anything with this at the moment, but your notary cam camp will basically take a picture of you and they'll upload it here. Then they'll make you sign here and the notary will sign here. But this will happen in the notary camp process. Do not fill it beforehand. The next step now is to click this link called Notary Camp. Then you'll be directed to the page here, which is notarycamp.com. The next thing you need to do is click here to complete your certification 186 identification form. Then you'll be brought to this page. Click next. Then put all your details from your email to your first name, last name, and your password. Click next. Then you'll be brought to this screen. Here you have to upload two things. The first one is certification of identification form, the form that you just got after the payment. The second requirement that you need to meet is put the front side of your passport here. After you've submitted and clicked next, you will get an email from Notary Camp stating that they have received your form and your passport, and somebody from Notary Camp will be reaching back to you regarding the whole notarization process. You can wait for them, or you can also email Notary Camp support to pre-schedule any date you want. I chose to wait for it and they replied with this: ready to get started now, let's meet now. So when you click this link, they will immediately connect you with the notary and then you can get the whole notarization process done. What that would entail is it's nothing major. It takes less than 2 minutes, where you will be just with a notary online on the webcam and they will take a photo of you, put it on form 186, and then they will just make sure that you put your passport next to your face and check that you're a real person. Once that happens, they'll sign it and you'll be done with the notarization process, and then they will send your notarized form 186 to ECFMG and you will be done with the ECFMG registration process. It would take about 2 to 3 days for ECFMG to receive your notarized form 186. The way to check this is by going under this section, application for ECFMG certification, and clicking overview. Once you click overview, you'll be directed to this page where you click this button, application for ECFMG certification information, and they will show you whether it's accepted, it's processing right now, and they'll mention the date as well and whether it is valid or not. The third step is submitting your online application for USMLE Step 1 via interactive web application portal. Go to the same ECFMG interactive web application page. Then you will see this new option pop up which says begin a new application and USMLE Step 1 and Step 2 CK here. Once you click this link, you will go onto this page where you will select no, I have not been granted a physician license by a US medical licensing authority based on other licensure exams. Click next here. Then you will start filling out all your details. I'm not going to show you every single page because it can be just so lengthy, but just fill out all the details to as accurate of a knowledge that you can. Then you'll be asked to choose eligibility period. In USMLE, you have to choose an eligibility period. We have eligibility periods which are 3 months long. For example, as stated here on this page, from October 1, 2018 to December 31, 2018, and you'll be given multiple options like this. Make sure you choose one that fits right for you, because sometimes, let's say if you feel you're not ready and you want to extend into the next eligibility period, then that would be a big complication. You also sometimes have to pay fees for you to do that. Once you choose an eligibility period where you'll be taking that test, then you will go to this screen where you will be asked to choose your testing region. For me, it was India, so I selected this. Here it's also showing you a surcharge of how much extra you need to pay to give both the USMLE exams. For example, if the USMLE exam is $975 for Step 1, you'll be paying an extra $180 to give the USMLE Step 1, which would make it $1,155. The reason you have to pay this surcharge is because USMLE is delivering it into international regions, and that requires money for them to do that. So that's why they charge extra to international students for them to give USMLE Step 1 or Step 2. Once you're done with this, you will go to this screen where you have to select whether you're currently a student or a medical graduate. If you're a student, select the student option. If you're a graduate, select the graduate option. Once you click next, after several pages, you will see this. This screen confuses many medical students and graduates because it has a lot of tentative dates associated with it. For example, if you look here, date you will complete requirements for medical school diploma. I don't know the exact date, if I'm a medical student, when I will meet the full requirements for my medical school diploma. So it is okay to have a margin of error here. Don't worry too much about it. What you need to give here is the most accurate estimation that you know that you will meet the requirements for your final medical diploma. For me, this was about in Feb 2020 when I finished my internship. After that, another confusing option is expected date of graduation and date medical school diploma expected to be issued. Don't need to be 100% accurate about it. It's okay to make errors. For first of all. Second is, what do you type in here and do you put the same dates in both of these options? Well, for me, I did that and I was completely fine with it. For me, this was about in June when my diploma was issued, and it was mentioned in my diploma that this is the date of graduation, June 2022, and the diploma itself was issued in 2022. Once you are done with that screen, you will get this option of making your payment. This is the fees for USMLE Step 1. Right now, Step 2 has a different fees, which I think is higher. With this, you have to pay $180 surcharge for the international test delivery. Once you made the payment, you will get this email from ECFMG, which states in the subject line your USMLE exam application. It will state that your USMLE Step 1 application is complete and that you have been registered for the following eligibility period. For me, it was March 1, 2020, May 31, 2020. The next part of the process here is getting your scheduling permit. However, in order to get your scheduling permit, you have to go through another process, which is medical school status verification. Here, ECFMG needs to know that you're actually going to that medical school and you're really attending it. You can do this via either online pathway or the offline pathway. The online pathway is called as EMSWP, ECFMG Medical School Web Portal, where your medical school basically has a connection to ECFMG online on their portal. They made their account there and they will get a request from ECFMG, which they can just fill in online for you and send it back to ECFMG. Not all schools are enrolled in EMSWP. However, you can get your med school enrolled. That's what happened with my med school. When I gave my USMLE, I actually did the offline process where I downloaded this thing called Form 183, which is mentioned below. I had to fill in the details, put in my photograph, get the signature of my dean here, and then get my medical school to send it via mail to ECFMG, which took about 2 weeks, after which I got my medical school verification done. That was a very hectic process. So try to get your school enrolled into EMSWP. I'll put a link down on how to do this. So if you're a graduate, you must also send a copy of your medical school diploma if not previously submitted, and its official English translation if it is not in English, along with the Form 183. Once the medical school verification process is done, you can go ahead and get your scheduling permit. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks if you've done it via Form 183 offline pathway. However, it's very short if you do it via the online pathway. You will get this email from ECFMG saying that your USMLE scheduling permit is available. They will attach the scheduling permit to the email as an attachment here, and at the same time they will provide you a link where you can go to interactive web applications via the link and download your USMLE scheduling permit from there. When you open your USMLE scheduling permit, your USMLE scheduling permit will have a special number which we will use to book your testing date via Prometric. So you can go to Prometric. I'll give you the link to this in the description as well, and you will see that when you open that link, you'll have these 3 options for Step 1 exam, Step 2 exam, or Step 3 exam. Choose whichever exam you're going for. Here we're talking about Step 1 or Step 2. Click schedule here or schedule here. Once you click schedule, you will be brought to this screen. I would read through this and then click this arrow. When you click this arrow, you have to put your scheduling number, which will be on your scheduling permit, and the first 4 characters of your last name. Once that's done, you'll be given a set of dates within the eligibility period to take your USMLE exam. Then you will be given this email, which is basically your test center details. You have to make sure that you print a copy of this and take it with you along with your passport to the test center location on the date of the examination. Only then will you be allowed to give it. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any doubts in the comments. Take care.